Fans, welcome to Sports Chat. We're joined by special guest Chris Demott today. Luke is making his way from the gorilla position at the camera. A lot to talk about. State champions have been crowned in TSSAA football, 3 of which come home to East Tennessee. Campbell County Cougars are 5-1 to start the season, the best start I can think of in some time. And Chris here just got through participating in something called the Santa Sevens. It's a rugby event.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into the other stuff, tell us a little bit about the Santa Sevens event.
This is the 27th or 28th annual Santa Claus Sevens in Knoxville, held by the Knoxville Men's League, Knoxville Possums. And Sevens is usually what they play in the summer by skinny guys. They're the backs. It's kind of like the equivalent of the wide receivers.
It's like your passing
7-on-7 passing league in regular football.
And yesterday it was 200 plus. You had to weigh 200 plus, or your team had to average a total of 1,400 pounds. So if you weighed under 200 pounds, you could still play, but you couldn't score, and you had to maintain the average of 200. I guess hence the Santa Claus is jolly fat guy.
Now, you went over by yourself.
I did.
You didn't have any teammates.
No. We were going to, just couldn't get everybody to gel
It's a
together.
hard time of year for that.
Rough time.
So you were able to combine with 6 other fellows?
I was. There was a few guys from Knoxville and 3 other people traveled from Asheville, North Carolina to play in the tournament. And they were good. Everyone was good athletes and skilled. We just hadn't played together before, but we had a good time. We knew that that was going to be tough to overcome going into it.
When you go into something like this, you kind of look, this is more of a build your skills, have fun with it.
It's just a fun
If you
time.
win, awesome. If not, you don't really expect to.
Couldn't ask for a better day to play rugby too. It was 55, 60 degrees yesterday and sunny. They said usually a lot of people didn't come to the tournament this year because I guess the past 26 years have been
Morbidly cold.
Yes, cold and slushy.
Last year at this time, I believe we were blowing snow. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pretty much every Christmas parade that I've been a part of, it's been us rushing from some strange location in a blinding snowstorm to get me to the parade on time. It's like some sort of terrible video game.
I got to see Santa Claus on the parade yesterday. We were lucky to get back right on time for the parade.
Now, you do have a fledgling rugby club in town.
We do. We got up to, I think, 25 people at one time this summer at one practice, which is big numbers for any club. And I knew it would be short-lived for that kind of numbers, but we had about 10 to 15 that would show up almost religiously every Wednesday and Sunday. And fall started, and I started a new job, and school started and all that stuff. So the numbers died down, and we decided, and everyone else does too, that usually let it go late fall and then pick back up early spring.
Now, let's assume that everyone watching this knows how to use a computer and probably has a Facebook. If they're interested, you have a team Facebook page.
We do. We have a team group page and a team group page and a Facebook page. It's Team Green Norris Rugby. Just type it in your handy search bar and it'll pop right up. And if not, you can type in mine, Chris Demott, DEMOTT, and you'll be able to get a link off of there and find it pretty easily.
So if there's anybody out there interested in giving it a whirl, especially if you're a former football player, I've said it before, there's not a lot of opportunity for people to really play football after they're done with school. You can always play men's league softball, men's league basketball, shoot. There's a huge hockey playing community in Knoxville. But football, rugby's pretty much your only choice.
It sure is. It's I started playing. I went to MTSU I went to the gym, to the on-campus gym, and seen a flyer for rugby and went to practice. And I've been going ever since 2002, off and on, as my schedule allowed. And that's the thing about it. At this level, you know, nobody's screaming down your throat, and you're not going to get suspended from a team if you're missing practice or late. It's a social club, and rugby's always been there, no matter what. And it's a great sport. It was the precursor to football, so I respect it. I enjoy watching football more on TV, but I enjoy playing rugby more than I played football.
Yeah, basically, it was a rugby game that was played up until the early 1900s.
It was.
For
It sure
American
was.
football. I mean, until the forward pass came into existence. So you know, it's a brutal sport, hard hit. If you like to get out and hit hard, have fun.
You know, if you want to watch them, go to ESPN3.
Yeah.
They have some
great.
great rugby games.
YouTube's, I mean, just a plethora of games and highlights and tutorials and study it. It's a fantastic game. I enjoyed it. I hadn't played a full contact game since New Mexico, and just got right back into it yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Everybody over there was very grateful. I mean, people. Let me see. There was 3 UT teams there yesterday. One's going to the national tournament next week. I think they're playing at College Station. And I think their first team might be Texas A&M. I'm not sure, but big tournament. They're going to be playing on their soccer fields down there. So they had 3 teams. They scrimmaged each other. They didn't want to go too hard before the tournament next week, and we actually got to play their 3rd string side. And Knoxville had 2 or 3 teams, and Blount County had a team over there as well. And when I left here a couple years ago to go to New Mexico, Blount County didn't have a team. Blount County has formed a team now. Oak Ridge is forming a team, so it's growing. Most of the high schools in Knoxville belong to the SMAC. I think it's the Smoky Mountain Athletic Club, and they have, I know, Carnes, Powell, Central. A lot of those teams have rugby teams.
On a full rugby team, how many players are on each side of the ball?
15 on each side, and you play 40-minute halves. No timeouts, no huddles, no in-between plays. It's just all out 40 minutes.
So basically at your peak, you had enough to field a complete team.
Yes.
And
Yes.
maybe compete eventually with the Knoxville clubs, the Blount County clubs.
Oak Ridge, hopefully.
Oak Ridge.
I wish.
You know, there's some people out there. Chris Johnson comes to mind, who I would love to see take up rugby.
I'd love to
The
have.
former Campbell County back, not the Titans running back. It would be awesome if he came here.
I wish he'd go play for the USA. We'd had a better showing in the World Cup this year. But we had a great showing. This is the first time that rugby was ever broadcast on a national
network.
on the national network channel. And they played Ireland and played them close. They kind of shot themselves.
Watch
in the
that
foot.
game.
It was a great game. They actually beat Russia. It's the first time they ever beat a team
Always-
other than Japan.
Always good to beat those filthy commies. I hate commies.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about how rugby's kind of the precursor to football. There was some exciting football played in Cookeville this weekend at Tennessee Tech. Maryville, Greenville, and CAK all brought championships home to East Tennessee.
That's a step down from normal when East Tennessee's been winning about 5 out of them, the 7. But
You know, Alcoa and South Pittsburgh, both out of the mix. Well, South Pittsburgh was in the title game.
yeah, South Pittsburgh lost in the title game. But CAK took Alcoa slot.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Powell came up 3 points short.
Who did Powell play? I didn't.
Henry County. I was talking to the Wartburg coaching staff, and they was talking about how impressed they were with Henry County, the amount of fan support they had.
To slow that Powell offense down, Henry County obviously had a very good defense. They held
They
Powell
must
14
have,
points.
yeah.
Which Powell also has an impressive defense. Henry County averaged, I think, 48 points a game this year.
Wow.
Powell about 45.
One of Henry County's defensive players ran Deshaun Mobley down from behind and stripped him of the ball.
Wow.
That was the game winner. That was a game-winning play.
Well, hopefully he'll stay in state and go to Tennessee, and we can beat Kentucky next year. Deshaun Mobley.
I don't know.
Goes to Kentucky.
They better be Kentucky next year.
They'll be riding in the street. I watched the CAK game on ESPN3. Their quarterback was just impressive.
Yeah, he ran a spread system, throw the ball around a lot. He had over 500 yards passing, I think 7 touchdowns.
Wow.
And,
That was whose quarterback?
CAK's.
CAK's only
What
close
is that? Is
game.
it Charlie Hall? Was that his name? His last name Hall?
I think it is.
I think so. I listen to a lot of games on the way to work, and CAKs, they are impressive.
I want to say that I think Maryville beat CAK pretty handily this year. And I think they may have also lost to the actual best team in that division, Grace Christian.
Right, Grace Christian ineligible for postseason play, of course, because of some incidents. And Grace Christian, I mean, they've got it figured out. And they're a private school, and they've been going and finding all these coaches that are great coaches at retirement age, and saying, retire, we'll hire you as our coach. You'll draw a full teaching play plus your Tennessee pension. Former Jacksboro Eagle coach Billy Wilson's their middle school basketball coach.
I remember Billy.
There was an interview with the head football coach on the radio not so long ago, talking about Grace, how they knew, going in that they were not eligible to go anywhere postseason, but they sit down with the kids and they all decided that despite not being able to go on to the next level, they were going to prove that they are the best. And that's what they went out with, the attitude, we're going to beat everybody we can come across.
Sounds like USC.
If I remember correctly, that was a barn burner they had with CAK, and they got into a big lead and ended up winning, I think, 28-27.
Well, we've talked about it on here before. When Campbell County and Grace played in that passing league, we thought, man, Campbell County secondary is looking bad. No, it was just that Grace was that good.
That 7-on-7, Grace pretty much threw a touchdown every play.
I worked standbys at both Grace and CAK. They treat you like gold over there.
Oh, CAK is the best place I've ever went to cover a game at. I mean, they've taken care of me at pretty much everywhere I've been to except Oak Ridge. They were weak.
Maryville, it's hard to explain Maryville's dominance. Quarles is a good coach, but they won state titles before he got there. A lot of people say they recruit, and they may, I'm not sure, but that's just an exceptional run that they're having. They move up in division and still keep winning state titles. Now, people said that would stop when they got to 6A, the biggest classification in the state, but it's not.
I mean, Oak Ridge, Dobbins being at all those schools, just couldn't stand up to Maryville.
No, they're powerhouses, but not like Maryville. Not at all.
Greenville developed themselves into just a powerful athletic program.
And I was talking to some folks up at Cumberland Gap who played Greenville in basketball the other night, and Greenville thumped them with 3 of their starters playing football.
Wow.
Not playing it. Greenville's got a good top to bottom program.
Greenville, they do well in every sport. It's a small mountain community, but for whatever reason, I don't know if they just got the right coaches in place or.
We go watch them bowl against Cumberland Gap, and they've got an excellent bowling team.
So they're just excellent athletically, and their football team has, I think, lost 1 game now in the last 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
and like I said, that Cumberland Gap being the team obviously we're closest to that plays them, they just dominate the Gap every time they step on the field.
Yeah.
And that's not a shot at the Gap like I would normally take it shot.
The Gap just tries most everybody in that. You just try to hold them under 65. It's like a state trooper defense.
Of course, on the basketball front, Campbell County boys are out to a tremendous start. 5-1. Had to come from way behind Friday night rather against Farragut.
Yeah, that's twice they played Farragut. The first time they played Farragut, they didn't score in the first quarter. But Farragut didn't score a lot either. They still won. They weren't playing defense very well at all against Farragut Friday night. And let Farragut get out, I think, 21-6.
21-6 was the first quarter.
This past Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I literally went up into the balcony about halfway through the second quarter. I was like, we might as well leave at the half. And then all of a sudden, boom, it clicked.
They sort of played defense. You know, they quit letting Farragut have wide open 3-pointers. They quit letting Farragut take it to the basket. And a few shots started falling. Next thing you know, Campbell County's back in it. It's a 2-point game at halftime. And then the second half, they just took over.
Nick Linton put in 21 points, had a dunk.
That's big numbers for high school.
Yeah,
Big numbers.
He's putting up big numbers. He's had a spectacular dunk in the last 2 games. He had one against Clinton as well. This one against Farragut was really spectacular because there was a guy there trying to block it, and he dunked it right on the guy.
Nice.
Farragut's coach got ejected.
So yeah, Farragut's coach, I'm not sure what he was so unhappy about, but he got teed up and then thrown out.
I talked to Matt Housley yesterday before the parade, and he was talking about how Ethan Simpson, his point guard, has really stepped up his game, and now that Ethan has Trey Torres backing him up, the freshman, so they really push each other to get better.
I've seen them working out in the gym every day this summer, just pushing each other, and they phenomenal athletes. They look the part. I'm sure they are the part. I remember coaching Ethan. He's just a beast. Just a man child.
You know, he's one that had he not been injured all football season, I feel like would have been a difference maker.
Yeah.
For the Cougars.
Girls lost to Farragut. Farragut's apparently going to be their nemesis this year. Just like
Apparently
last
so.
year.
I mean,
Girls went out against Clinton and looked wonderful.
at one point they were a 3-1 leader over Clinton.
Yeah, they crushed Clinton. Ended up beating 68-34. Doubled them up. I mean, just crushing them. But Farragut, Farragut just made every shot that they needed to make. Campbell County would rally and get it within a point or two, and then Farragut would make a couple of 3-pointers. And it's just, something they're going to have to work on to get better, to get out of this region. You got to beat Farragut.
Right. I mean, district-wise, they generally, they're going to go to the regional tournament. But region-wise, you've got to beat Farragut. That's the key with the regional tournament to get to the next level.
Who are the boys' single loss to? Who they lose to?
Sevier County.
Were they that good, or?
We didn't see the game.
That was one of our first games,
It
wasn't
was
it?
the second game. It was a game after
It
Farragut.
got postponed because of postseason football play, didn't it?
It got actually advanced today.
got
From
rescheduled.
Friday to a Thursday. But the boys are improving each game. I figure they'll be back on track. Stay on track. This is one of their best starts. Unfortunately for the girls and boys both, the basketball arena is still pretty empty.
Yeah, we really need to work on filling that thing up, fans.
And I don't understand. When I was in high school and we had some good teams, you could not get a seat in that place.
What else are you going to do? The community needs to get behind this. I'm guilty. I haven't been to a game, but I've been working every Friday in Knoxville. I'd love to go, but...
You working tomorrow night?
No.
We'll go to Cumberland Gap?
Yes.
They're playing Cumberland Gap tomorrow.
No, that I am working tomorrow night.
You working Tuesday?
I work Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, so much for the 2 games this week.
Well, regardless, I know that a lot of y'all don't have anything else to do. You don't have to work on Tuesday nights and Friday nights. And, I film and from the upper deck on the Cougar bench side, and it's got a few people in it, but looking across the other side, it's pretty much empty.
It's usually the band.
When I was in high school, I went to every ball game. What else, for the students, what else were you going to do there?
No, we have a decent student section as far as the crowd goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But
just
I want
like,
to see more community.
There's 1,600 students that go up there, though, and there's
Maybe 300.
There's probably 200 students at the game, plus another 100 participating in cheerleading, the dance and everything.
I personally believe that the reason Campbell County has lack of success in its high school program is the lack of community support at times. Now this year, the Price Boys surprised me a lot. As far as they've got the community behind them. They won 3 games. They had 3 coaches in the year, and I would expect them to win a game. And I'm proud that they did it, and I enjoyed going up there and watching them play. They really done good. And I'm really hope the best for Matt Hasley. Work with him, and he's a good guy.
Speaking of the football team, all districts got released. The big honor that this team got is Bo Ferris got Academic Player of the Year in the district.
Good job, Bo.
That's
Congratulations.
Bo was also an honorable mention for all district. The all district team itself was Tuffy Shoup, Logan Hunter, the big offensive lineman, Tyler Oates, the big defensive
Yeah, he's
lineman.
a beast on the line.
Why am I drawing a blank?
I'm not sure.
The story's on the Times right now.
Linebacker.
Nick Bailey at linebacker, and Jordan Kendry at defensive back. Plus, had Ethan with honorable mention, Matt Marshall with honorable mention. The story's on the Times right now, if you want to go read it.
Football, it's looking good for next year, in my opinion. They have to replace Tuffy, but I think Ethan Jefferson will do a fine job throwing the ball around. He won't go around like Tuffy.
But the best of the receiving corps remains intact.
You get a lot of good players coming back, and another year in the system, like a full spring practice with the actual coaches.
An actual spring practice rather than a fundamentals drill.
Things are looking good at Campbell County. You got the basketball going well. You got a good young baseball coach at Campbell County.
Who's
Right.
the coach?
Brad Collette's his name. He came from Union County, I believe. I know some people that coached with him that are former baseball players at Campbell County.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, Adam Ellison and Brian Miracle. They speak very highly of him.
Good.
And to me, this wasn't. I'm sure the season the coaches wanted it for football because you always want to make the playoffs. But this was a very successful football season for Campbell County. It looks like the basketball teams are back on track to have a good season. If the baseball team gets on track does well.
I mean, track's got 2 state championships under its belt in the last 2 years.
Tennis and golf, it's just a very good.
Tennis is actually looking really good with all the returns. Plus, the program will be ready for this year. They're getting on-campus tennis courts.
Good.
I think the sports are looking pretty great up there right now, and so get out and support them. Fill up the gym. It's a cold winter night. What are you gonna do? You watch TV, watch the stupid something like the Jersey Shore.
And look, if you don't have on-demand or DVR at this point, really,
I don't have on demand or DVR.
you have the internet.
I do have internet.
Do you have cable?
No.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
How much TV do you watch?
Not much.
You're working at nights, man.
Yeah. We watch a lot of PBS.
But
For the babies.
Ain't nothing wrong with PBS.
the state championship games are on TBS.
Yes.
I mean, we watched a lot of stuff on ESPN3 at your house this football season. We watched that rugby.
Yeah.
And but that's the beauty of it. You don't feel the compulsion to sit home and watch TV on Friday night.
Campbell County sports are looking up. I wish UT sports were also looking up.
We're
The men's basketball team, they keep playing pretty good teams close, but not winning. And at some point, you have to actually win those games. Because that's what Bruce Pearl did when he got here. He immediately started winning those games.
The sad attendance at those
And
games.
the attendance is down by about 10,000 this year.
wow.
That's a massive drop in attendance. That would be out in Midland Stadium suddenly having 40,000 people in it.
Which is
Which
on
is-
its way.
It's heading that way quick.
It is possible.
The way it's going right now.
It was sad when I was there
Will
at the
Durant-
Vanderbilt game. It was sad.
Will Derek Rogers be on the team next year?
Who knows? I mean, I figure he'll be given every opportunity because simply Dooley, pretty much the only way to save his job is to have a great year next year.
Yep. Eight plus wins.
That's providing that he actually can save it with the big fiasco that's going on right now. And make
He
it
just
good.
lost control. Totally lost control.
Just the stories coming out of that program, you thought that he was a disciplinarian, but apparently he's not at all, if any of that's true. And it's been pretty much reported by some high-profile people, the News Sentinel, the sports radio, like even 990 reported. 990 pretty much is ran by the UT media.
Yeah. I don't think we would have been hearing about any of this stuff if they didn't lose to Kentucky. I think it would have been on the down low.
Now that's
There's some high level boosters on the warpath.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fighting amongst the inside of the boosters, the team, the coaches, all the support staff. A lot of turmoil there.
I said it before, there's one way to solve the problem, and that's you have to spend the money. And
Yeah.
I don't know why UT refuses to do that. They have with every coaching hire they've ever made. They've never, the last time they hired a big name coach in any sport that I can recall was probably this recent baseball coach, and that's about it. I mean, General Nealon took over, he was an assistant coach. And
They're just hoping to get lucky like that again.
they just, the entire history of the football program, I mean, it's just been fortunate that it's worked out with pretty decent coaches. They've just hired somebody from off the staff or a former Tennessee player. I mean, Johnny Major's a big hire because he had just won the national championship at Pittsburgh. But Tennessee had a big time in with Johnny Majors because, he's from Tennessee, went to Tennessee, he's all Tennessee through and through. Philip Fulmer was just an assistant, but of course got promoted. And Lane Kiffin, I guess, was a sort of a big name that kind of didn't work out well.
His dad was a big name.
I mean, Lane's a good coach. Like I said on here last week, I don't like him. I don't like the way he left UT in the soft spot that he left it in. But his coaching ability and that staff's coaching ability is excellent.
Look at
God, I
USC.
would
the
love to
success
have him
they're having.
right now.
Yeah.
USC is excellent this year. He improved Jonathan Crompton into a draft pick. I mean, if you can improve Jonathan Crompton from the Waynesville Worm Burner into a draft pick.
I forgot the name. AJ Suggs. I had to look it up the other day. I was like, wow, I had totally forgotten.
I would love to have AJ Suggs back. Some of the games we had this year with Sims at quarterback.
Yeah.
Phil's got to be the most unproud father of all time.
And
His progeny is terrible.
He done a bad job choosing his mate. She just didn't produce good.
Chris was never that good at Texas either.
No.
And I'm kind of glad he decommuted.
But actually, him decommitting kind of is what hurt the program. It cost us a lot of recruits, and that's when the program started to spiral out of control. And it went down under Fulmer. It really is still, I blame most of this on Fulmer and the administration for not getting rid of him after 2005 when they lost to Vanderbilt. I mean, they let it get so deep in the hole that it's almost impossible to get it back out unless you're an elite coach. And Derek Dooley, I mean, he's a funny guy. He says the right things. He's got a southern accent.
He wears orange pants.
But my God, you got to. You can't have this much chaos in your program.
No.
And have players who openly say they want to quit because they don't care about going to the Music City Bowl or the Liberty Bowl. If they don't get to go to a Florida Bowl, they don't care.
That to me, for not dismissing them immediately, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, pull their scholarship, do something.
They would not have saw the field.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That'd have been it.
Can you imagine when you were in middle school saying to Johnny Bruce, I ain't gonna know Johnson
I
City
don't want to
Bowl
go to
game."
I don't want to go play Science Hill or to the Johnson City Bowl game.
He let apparently things spiral out of control with certain players on the team, let them do what they wanted to do, and it's just reflected and reverberated all around the program now. And it's literally, if he gets to come back, he better win 8 or 9 games or more. They better not get blown out. They better never lose to Kentucky or Vanderbilt.
They better score some points in the third quarter.
They better score
They
points in
better
the
score
second half.
in the third quarter.
They better run the ball.
Uh-huh.
The only decent coach we've had over the last couple of years, what was his name, Burnett, maybe?
The wide receivers coach over time.
Baggett.
And Baggett. And Baggett suddenly retired after all this controversy of supposedly Derek Rogers chewing him out of the Kentucky
Yeah.
game and not saying anything. And the wide receivers have been the brightest group on the team for the last couple of years.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be top notch coach.
Well, apparently he was, because look at Hunter, look at Rogers.
The play on the field of Hunter and Rogers and some other receivers was excellent. Riviera really did well as a tight end when they would throw it to him.
God, we should have used him. I mean, just like Jason Witten, we should have just.
It's like Bray quit Karen. And, Sims wasn't capable of throwing the ball. Worley didn't know the offense well enough to do it.
I would give Worley the ball. I would just go ahead and put him in.
With that attitude, Bray's got
attitude.
just a world of talent, but if truly that's his attitude, I can't imagine he'll start next year.
What has Bray done though? I mean, I think he's talented, but he's not done anything yet. To have the big head, he's not beat anybody yet.
No.
Nobody. Why can he carry on his head? He's not beat an upper echelon team.
The biggest win he has is against Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Big deal. Cincinnati ain't an SEC team, pal.
Nobody over there should have the big head right now.
No, they should be.
Yeah, they lost all the important games.
You know, it was bad to lose Hunter because apparently Hunter is not only, you know, he's Randy Moss level talent wise, or was before his injury. He's also very level headed, from what I understood.
They need that. They need somebody with level.
Whereas Derek Rogers is very Terrell Owens,
Yeah.
both in ability and attitude apparently.
And apparently none of the seniors, I guess maybe Dooley didn't have their back when they tried to step up and Rogers would try to fight with them, which is ridiculous for Dooley not to have their back. But
Not showing up to workouts, going
you
to
know,
the beach.
I knew Eric Westmoreland. He worked with me for a while, and he was part of that school of linebackers, like Al Wilson, Raynott Thompson, and Westmoreland, and those guys. They were mean, is the best way to describe it. And Westmoreland would get on the phone with people at 5:30 in the morning and be like, "You better be over here to work out right now."
That's good. I mean, that's what it takes to win ball games. That's commitment.
I mean, he would come into work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and he had already been up since 4 o'clock working out for 2 hours every day. Every day. This was the off season, of course.
Right.
Every day they got up and they went to work, and if you weren't there, he was on you. And it's the same. You know, we just somewhere along the lines that stopped working, or if we didn't have a player saying that, or if the player did say that, the other younger players would blow him off, and Dooley wouldn't say anything to the younger players about it. Dooley wouldn't say anything to his recruits about things, and he just left the seniors out to dry. And that can't, you know, that can't stand.
No, they can't fly at all. Well, fans, I think we've talked about all there is to talk about today. We'll see you next week in another exciting sports chat, and we'll see you at the game at least Tuesday night at home.
And remember, Chris Demott, Rugby, look it up on Facebook.